Hello and welcome. I'm Annette Reeder from thebiblicalnutritionist.com, and today I get to answer your questions. The questions that are being answered today are about food sensitivities and food intolerances, and a lot of gut issues going on. So we're going to talk about this today. Let's start answering your questions about food sensitivities and intolerances. How should one eat if they have food intolerances or sensitivities? I personally am meant to avoid gluten, dairy, and then also to limit histamine foods. I'm trying to figure out how to feed my body best in line with God's Word. This was submitted by Jaden. Well, Jaden, everything you're describing comes down to one problem, and that's gut dysbiosis. We need to focus on healing the gut. So gluten and dairy and the long list of histamine foods, they all cause problems when the lining of the gut is altered or it's inflamed. It's what we teach about it with leaky gut. Until we focus on healing the gut, the list of foods that are tolerated for healing will be very limited. Go back to when the problem started. Did you have surgery? Did you take medications? Did you have any vaccines or travel to another country? Now, just eating glyphosate-sprayed foods or a diet that's rich with GMO foods can cause this leaky gut, which then over time shows itself with all of the problems that you've listed here. Now, histamines are not a bad food. It's just how the body responds to the histamines causing the problem. Histamines actually help your body to heal with wounds, or they also can cause problems. It just depends. Now, let me share 2 steps. Number 1, eat the 3 principles. Pray for farmers who raise animals correctly and gardeners who don't use sprays on their food. No longer eat any foods that are processed GMOs. Fermented foods can cause problems in the beginning, but as the lining of the gut begins to heal, this will be food that your body will begin to love. Now, dairy can only come from a farmer that you know. And until God shows you that farmer, then we need to avoid all dairy. Gluten, if you're avoiding processed foods, then this is not going to be a problem. Now, the second step is to heal. For this, we need probiotics. And some doctors will say you need to avoid probiotics because they can be grown on histamine factors. The science is not really definitive on that, but you can still check with companies to see if their products or their probiotics are pure. And then adding mentobiotics, which is a blend of pre, pro, and phytobiotics. And then it's just a matter of helping the gut to heal the body, and then everything happens the way we want it to. Now let me go back to histamine. Histamine is produced by the body, and everything you are addressing is not a group of isolated events. It's actually the gut dysbiosis. The intolerance is not the problem. Your body makes histamine, but only when it's needed for healing. It can be inflammation-making, and it can also be anti-inflammatory. Histamine-rich foods are just common foods that have been consumed since eating ever began. Histamine causes problems from food if there's a leaky gut, which is an issue that's already present. So avoid leftover foods. If you've been eating fish your entire life with no problems, and all of a sudden you have an anaphylactic shock from eating fish, that's not an allergy, that's just bad fish. So too much histamine can happen from rotting fish. So here's histamine. It can affect your body just in a small amount. It can increase your heart rate. A higher amount can cause tachycardia, headache, rash, or red swelling. If you get an even higher amount, it can cause a drop in blood pressure. Even higher amount, you get bronchial spasms, and even higher amount, you're going to have a heart attack. Okay, I've scared everyone now from eating histamine foods. Histamine is not the problem. It's when your gut is not able to manage it correctly and the signalings, the receptors are off. You have histamine receptors throughout your entire body. Histamine comes from food, and it's also made in your body. And when your doctor tests for histamine, every time he tests, it's going to give a different answer because the tests are not definitive to know which receptors are responding to the test. So you would have to retest over and over and over because the flora in those receptors, it changes every moment of the day. Continuing on with that answer, follow the 3 principles. They may seem really too simple to work, yet they're foundational for every doctor-prescribed diet. They are the basis for what brings nutrition to the cell. No altered foods, no GMOs, no glyphosate-sprayed foods, no processed foods. Now, and speaking God's word in praise and not in desperation is another answer to this. He already has promised his healing. So thanks for asking this question. A question submitted was this: my gut has been through trauma. and I have no idea what to eat. Some things I used to eat, they smell and or taste absolutely horrid. This was submitted by Anna. Well, Anna, let's just take 21 days and begin the process of healing. The symptoms that you're sharing are very common for someone who's had either a vaccine in the last 4 years, chemo treatment in the last 7 years, or on medications. Now, stress can also be a factor that leads into this problem. I currently am working with a client who is working to overcome his cancer. And I shared that taste is actually a blessing, but it's not required to eat healthy. For our lifetime, we have asked our kids, hey, do you like it? And then we try serving them broccoli and they cry when they're forced to eat it. Because we have focused so much on, hey, do you like it? Rather than, hey, this is nutritious and I want you to eat it. And so then when a child tries to show his understanding of foods and it's like, hey, yeah, this tastes good, I want this, and broccoli does not, so I don't want that, they get in trouble for not eating what we want them to eat. So what I'm saying is taste is a blessing, but it's also a learned behavior. And we all enjoy various flavors. But taste is not a requirement for eating healthy. And as hard as it may be, please eat as if your body would die without it. Now, there are 2 other reasons that taste is out of balance, and you already identified it with your gut. An unhealthy microbiome, which is what we call dysbiosis, it can lead to smell and taste being off. Also, a lack of zinc can lead to taste preferences being off. Now, you asked what to eat. I have 3 videos that I really want you to look up, and you can find these on my website. So go to thebiblicalnutritionist.com, scroll down on the homepage until you click on the word physical. From there, it will take you to these videos that I recommend on what to eat. Now, I have posted the smoothies video, the Power 5 salad video, and also the Power Meals. This is going to bring you variety and actually a mercy ship of nutrition. This nutritional value in these videos and in these foods that God created are going to help heal the microbiome. As we heal the microbiome, our goal is that you're taking a really good multivitamin. And as the nutrients from that multivitamin are starting to be able to be absorbed and taken in and delivered to where they need to go, your taste preferences are going to return. Your smell preferences are going to return. And I look forward to hearing your response. So, good multivitamin, follow the 3 principles, do this strictly for 21 days. And if it takes a second 21 days, do it again. If it takes a third 21 days, then you will have solidified how to eat healthy. Thanks for these questions. And I know it's not just Anna and Jaden who are dealing with these issues. Crohn's is now 1 in 10 teenagers who have it. 5 years ago, it was the college freshmen who are getting it. Well, now it's moved into the high school, and it's affecting 13 and 15-year-olds. This is a digestive system imbalance, and we must have fiber and water in the diet to feed the microbiome. Processed foods are designed for a really short time of chewing and a long time of problems. We need foods that require chewing, a lot of chewing, and a slow release of insulin. And from there, we eat 7 cups of vegetables daily. Now, they can be raw or lightly cooked. In Deuteronomy, it says, choose life that you may live. That includes what we feed our body. So thanks for joining me at the table today and to answer your questions. You matter to me, and I know God has a purpose for your life, and you need your help to see it come to fruition. All right, thanks for watching. I am Annette Reeder from thebiblicalnutritionist.com. Be sure and check out our courses at biblicalnutritionacademy.com, and I hope to meet you personally in the inner circle.